Freddie Vasquez, and I'm not live yet. Oh, I am. Good evening, folks. Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. Happy Sunday. Another Board of Elections scandal.
Ready, wins. Fatality.
Folks, another legislative scandal up in White Plains. What is going on with our county board of legislators? I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. To another scandal. Another scandal at the county. What's going on, folks? I'm Freddie Vasquez. Happy Sunday. Coming on to discuss this article I read. You know, I started reading it last night, but I must have been so tired I didn't quite understand it. But today I do. Another scandal. What else is going on, folks? How you doing? I'm Freddie Vasquez. Make sure you join the conversation. Ask questions, comments. You can also email me at politicwithfred@gmail.com if you would like to send me information. You can remain anonymous. Don't need to know your name. Also, if you like to talk about something, if you'd like to join me on the podcast and you have something that you think would be interesting and important to discuss, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. Tonight, I want to talk about another scandal at the County Board of Legislators. This is funny to me. This is very funny to me. The chairman, Vidat Gashi, pulled the Christopher Johnson. That's right. Could you believe it? Another residency issue? Another co-op purchase with a housing program? But this time, it's in the city. Let's talk about this. Vidat Gashi, I didn't even get it up, is the chairman who recently took over for Catherine, or was it Christina? Borgia? Yeah, the third scandal, right? And there's probably more on the way. We just don't know it yet. I mean, at this rate, we should expect more. I posted it up there in case you guys want to see on the page, but let's go over it. Vidat Gashi, again, the chairman, he replaced Catherine Borgia. Is it Catherine? I believe Catherine or Christine Borgia, who resigned over the scandal involving the aide. The guy's name, I forgot, the aide who was caught trying to solicit sex from an underage girl. He was caught by a vigilante group who catches predators, like to catch a predator type of thing with Chris, whatever that guy's name. So she resigned, the chairwoman, because they said she didn't do enough when she found out, that they should immediately fire the guy. She took the fall. Obviously, the leaders got to take the fall, right? Well, then there was the Chris Johnson housing scandal. Remember, he purchased an apartment using an affordable housing program, and he was not living in it anymore. He was, in fact, renting it out. And you can't use that as an investment property. It's against the rules. But Chris Johnson was doing that, renting it out to his brother-in-law. But what made it worse is that Chris Johnson actually used that property, which he was not supposed to use as an investment property, to apply for a mortgage, to apply and qualify for a mortgage. And on the mortgage application, he listed the investment property and also stated that he was receiving $2,500 a month. And that matters because when you're going to get a mortgage, they want to know the money, your income. How much are you generating? So that way they can, determine whether or not they're going to give you a mortgage. And if they are, what amount are they going to be willing to give you, right? And so if you claim that you're making more money than you really are, that's technically fraud, right? And if you apply for a mortgage and you put false statements, that's mortgage fraud, right? So he put that he was getting $2,500 a month for this co-op on North Broadway. In fact, he was only getting $1,500 a month. But the bigger deal was that he wasn't even supposed to be renting it out and to begin with. And he had moved out of his district. So he vacated his seat for a year now, and it caught up with him. So Chris Johnson resigned. right? And now we have Simmer Brandon holding the seat, just keeping it warm until the elections, and we get a new legislator for District 16. Now Vidat Gashi, similar. Yes, wow, this is the third scandal at the county. That's right, the third. Vidat Gashi, NYC probes Westchester County legislators' affordable co-op used as investment property. Another day, another Westchester County legislator with an apartment purchased through an affordable housing program that he's using as an investment property. This time, it's Board of Legislators Chairman Vidat Gashi, Democrat from Yorktown. Gashi served on a committee that in July launched an inquiry leading to the resignation of Yonkers legislator Chris Johnson. Johnson had moved out of his district while renting his affordable condominium in violation of City of Yonkers regulation. A Tax Watch investigation has found that Gashi and his wife, Yoza, since 2015, have owned a 4-bedroom affordable co-op at West 88th Street and Columbus Avenue on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Man, this guy's got a luxury co-op. Upscale neighborhood. West 88th Street. This is in Manhattan. This isn't even in Westchester. The apartment should be Gashi's primary residence, according to the co-op's regulatory agreement with the city of New York. The co-op board, however, can offer an exception in writing. Gashi, who serves as the co-op's board secretary, said he has such written approval, but has declined to provide it. And I'll go into that in a second. Meanwhile, Gashi lives with his family in a 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom Yorktown home with 4,000 square feet of living space on Rustic Ridge Court, which the town values at $968,000. Gashi lists the affordable apartment in his Manhattan as a business venture on his financial disclosure statements filed with Westchester County. New York City Affordable Housing Program allows shareholders like Gashi to sublet their units for up to 18 months during 5-year periods. Even then, the apartment purchased through New York City's Housing Development Fund Corporation Affordable Co-op Program must remain Gashi's primary residence, said William Fowler, spokesman for the city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development. Fowler said the program delivers property tax breaks to shareholders in its mission to provide affordable home purchase opportunities for low-income New York City residents seeking to buy a place to call home. The tax break is huge. So here he is preventing someone in New York City from being able to buy an affordable co-op while he's living in his almost $1 million home, 4,000 square feet, up in Yorktown. Yet he's criticizing and going after Chris Johnson, the hypocrite. The hypocrisy is all over politics, folks. It's like a disease, it's a plague within politics. You know, once you get in it, you probably already get it. Hypocrisy. This guy, they were talking so much trash about Chris Johnson, and you know why this came about. Chris Johnson is working. His team is firing back. This is why this came out. His team is firing back. So maybe we'll see more stuff. Maybe we'll get more information. Let's go, Chris. Let it all out because they're trying to bury you. Or is this just a quick move and let them know that, hey, I can strike back as well. So let's make this deal. I ain't trying to go to jail. I ain't trying to look like a criminal either. Is that what this is? I doubt that Chris Johnson is going to go any further than that, because if they offer him a deal where it can all go away, he's going to take that very quick. Talking about deals. Shit. My light just fell. Mike Cater is still under investigation. We were hoping that he was going to get a deal. I was under the impression he would be seeing a deal after primaries. But no deal so far. Sorry about that. Excuse my light. I don't know why I tried to... No deal for Mike Cater. Anyway, my light just fell there. Hopefully it's not too dark. He's still under that investigation. These guys work deals out, they do bad things, right? Everybody's doing bad things. So they work deals out. They do a bad thing, you work out a deal, and it goes away. This is why it's important that basement politics exists. I put out the truth. We know what's going on with these guys. But anyway, city records show the tax breaks provide an exemption on 75% on the taxable value of the building, reducing the estimated property tax bill for 2023 to $52,000. Blah, blah, blah. Fowler said the department is probing whether Gashi has violated regulatory agreement that governs the 12-unit building, which has landmark status and includes a Bodega 88 restaurant on Columbus Avenue. The Affordable Co-op program was not designed to create investment opportunities. Same thing as Chris Johnson, right? It's not designed for that, guys, but you're taking up advantage of it anyway, right? That was not the program's intention, said Fowler. This is housing for low to moderate income New Yorkers, for this very, not for county legislators in Westchester County. New York City Councilman Gail Brewer of Manhattan, whose district includes West 88th Street, backed the city's inquiry into Gashi's inclusion of the Affordable Co-op in the real estate investment portfolio. It's outrageous, said Brewer. These are supposed to be for low-income people, not used as investment properties. You should dig deeper, Brewer. Dig deeper. Gashi told Tax Watch that he's renting the affordable unit on West 88th Street, though he declined to say for how long, how much. How much was he renting it for? I don't live there now, but he's supposed to live there. The Gashis purchased a 4-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom for $849,000. What kind of low-income resident is that? $849,000 is no low to moderate income person is going to be able to buy that. At the time, they were required to have a combined income no greater than 120% of the area median income, said Fowler. That year, the income limit was 82 for a couple or 103. Oh, so they could buy it if they only making 82. How does that work? Gashi, a real estate attorney, oh, okay, no wonder he knows the ins and outs, is also a member of a limited liability company that paid $1.6 million in 2009 for a 25-unit apartment complex at University Ave and 188th Street in the Bronx. So all these guys is in real estate, folks. All of them are in real estate. And like I was mentioning earlier today on Ashburton, a lot of them knew that these properties in Yonkers were going to be bought up. So they were, told which properties to buy cheap so they can then sell high. So a lot of the, people that are in the in crowd making money off this real estate. My wife and I worked and saved to purchase this apartment in 2015 to be our family home for us and our children. Yeah, right. Why not in the 25-unit apartment complex that you bought in 2009 for $1.6 million? Our family has grown and we have made our way back to my childhood home in Yorktown, where my wife and kids and I now reside and my kids attend school. We have followed every housing rule and have always sought explicit written permission for our use of residence in this building from the cooperative, including ensuring that we are qualified to purchase. So I wanted to get special permission in writing and I got it, so it's okay for me. Why didn't Chris Johnson get that special permission? He wasn't thinking. Somers Republican Dan Branda, who is running against Gashi in November 7th election, said it appears that Gashi has abused the affordable housing program by making his affordable unit part of his real estate investment portfolio. He wants the Board of Legislators to investigate his chairman. It's insulting that Vedat would try to claim special permissions or ignorance about the legal restriction of his 4-bedroom affordable housing apartment, said Brenda, I guess because he's a real estate attorney. He feigns of ignorance is at Aiken and to an experienced pilot pretending not to recognize the cockpit controls. Someone as sophisticated and experienced as Vedat cannot be this feckless in this arena or in the arena that he's built his career upon. Brenda said Gashi's ownership of the affordable apartment, which requires it to be his primary residence, calls into question his voter registration in Westchester. Oh, man. If Vedat has a contract with New York City to maintain his primary residence in Manhattan in exchange for substantial property tax breaks, he's never been eligible to be our elected representative, much less even vote in Westchester. Oh, man. Gashi's affordable co-op on West 88th Street comes under New York City's Housing Development Fund Corporation program, which was developed in the 70s to address the raft of decrepit apartment buildings that became city property through tax foreclosures and condemnation. The city set up the program under the state's private housing finance law to address the needs of persons and families of low income. When the program began, tenants were sold the apartments for as little as $250. And I had a client that his mom bought this piece of property with one building and one multifamily home for $7,000, plus she got money from the government to fix it all up just before he sold. Well, just before he died, I should say. He sold for $2 million. That's a nice profit. About 3-4 years ago. So look, he did the same thing that Chris Johnson did. It might be even worse here because of, these tax breaks that he's getting in the city. That's supposed to be his primary residence. He has it listed as an investment property. It's in his investment portfolio. This guy purchased this place for almost $900,000. He bought his home for almost $1 million. He got another investment property that he paid $1.6 million. I mean, this guy's got a lot of money. Why is he using an apartment that's supposed to be designated for someone who's, needs of, an affordable housing program in order to purchase a home? These are people that are not having investment portfolios. They can't afford to even buy their own home. And they need help. And these individuals take advantage of this because, as the Brenda guy said, he knows this. He's the pilot pretending not to know the controls in the cockpit, but he knows the controls very well. And many of our elected officials and individuals that operate within the city of Yonkers know the controls very well. They are in the cockpit every day, pretending that they can't do anything about it, pretending not to know, right? Pretending that it's someone else, passing the buck constantly. But they're also in the know of a lot of properties that are going to be going up for sale, a lot of properties that the owners have died, the owners don't have a next of kin, so the property is going to sit there, it's going to go into a tax lien, then they're going to pick it up cheap, no one else is going to know about it, then some developer is going to come, they're going to want that home plus the homes next to it, they're going to sell for high. I've seen this. Individuals here in the city of Yonkers, people with a lot of money, multimillionaires engaging in insider trading, basically knowing of real estate opportunities that no one else knows that should be made public. And they're allowed to buy these properties for $2,500. Just pay off the tax lien to the city and the property is yours. A property that has a market value as is of $500,000, and then they knock it down instead of renovating it and making homes for people because we have a housing shortage here. No, they knock it down, clear the land so they can build these developments on it after the developers buy it from them for a lot more money than they bought it for. And this has happened a lot here in the city of Yonkers, and many people have become even richer. And it's causing the price of rents to go up. So people are being priced out. Those that are low income that need the support are the ones that are being priced out. But a few are being allowed to stay. They're filtering them with the new lottery that they keep doing over at the housing place, right? Because they own them now. They privately own, and they want to make sure that they filter out the bad people, the people who they don't want there for one reason or another. Here's a voucher. Go to White Plains. Go to Greenburgh. Get the hell up out of here. Go to Newburgh. I don't care. Your family can't go together. We don't care. Go down south. This is what's happened. I've heard the stories. Meanwhile, those in the know, small group get to benefit and rake in all the dough. Some unbelievable. Can't trust our county legislator, I see. Well, will he have to resign like Chris Johnson? Will they force him to resign? Because, they're going for the county. The county, they're trying to take over the county slowly, right? Will he have to resign? How far would this investigation by New York City go? Maybe the city needs to investigate this really thoroughly. see what else is going on there in New York City and what will happen. But he has to resign. It's only fair. If Chris Johnson had to resign, he has to resign. Bottom line. Technically, that's supposed to be his primary residence. So he wasn't supposed to be eligible to be elected, to be the chair, to even vote in Westchester County. So that's going to be investigated. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I find it interesting that I have not really heard about this, right? Have you guys seen this posted on the Yonkers Times, on the Yonkers Voice, on the Yonkers Newswire? Have you guys seen it there? I don't know what's going on with the Tribune. I can't get on. It's like something's wrong with the website, right? But when Chris Johnson was having his housing scandal, it was everywhere. It was everywhere. But we don't hear about that. Think about that. And that just goes to show how the Yonkers Times, Yonkers Newswire, or maybe, I don't know. I don't even go on their page. They might have had it. I just haven't seen them. When it was Chris Johnson, I didn't even have to look for it. It was coming up everywhere. Let's take a look. But folks, also, if you didn't check out the podcast, a quick one I did last night. CSEA members upset again. No contract for our CSEA members. CSEA members, by the way, Freddie Vasquez has a UPK daycare after school. I'm opening up. If you have children, I'm looking out for you folks, all right? We'll give you guys a deal. Check us out, littleprodigycenter@gmail.com. If you're in need of after-school program, daycare, childcare, UPK programming, CSEA members, and all city employees actually will get a discount because I love you guys, and I really mean that. No, I'm serious. But yeah, no contract yet, and their leader, their where's this? What am I looking at? Yonkers Times. Their leader, Alberto Velasquez, is in Puerto Rico, and they know when he goes, they clocking him. It ain't me, Alberto. They clocking you on because they want their contract. They're trying to figure out, are we getting this contract? We want this retro check. We went all summer without a retro check, no contract, right? I wanted to go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? And you're on vacation. You're in Puerto Rico all the time. It's not fair. Why isn't Maribel de Jesus the president? This is what they're saying. She's there in the office. She works all the time. She's working hard. She's doing everything. They say Alberto's computer isn't even hooked up. You go to his desk, no wires. It's not even hooked up. Disconnected. What work is he doing there? But he's getting paid. So it's not fair. Nothing on the Times about this, about Vedad Gashi. You see? Nothing on the Times, nothing on the Wire. Only Freddie brings it to you, brings you all the information. I don't censor things. But yeah, so hopefully you guys will get a contract soon. Hopefully before Christmas, you'll get a retro check. And I'm sure you'll get it after November, right? Dang, that's not that long, that far from Christmas. Let's get him a contract, man. So the guys in Puerto Rico, the guys are doing his job. They don't understand why he's the president. Why doesn't he just step down? And you should. If you're wanting to be in Puerto Rico, if you don't want the responsibility, step down. The people, there's 1,500 members, 1,500 people that, you're playing with their money, their livelihoods. You're not representing them the way they need to be represented. And they pay to be in this union, right? It's not like it's free. You got to pay, right? I used to have to pay. So I know what that's like, waiting on your retro checks, waiting to get a contract resolved. And this guy's out here in Puerto Rico, but he's at these political events too. You can catch him at the Democratic events, the Democratic Party. He's always at them. He tried to fight me at one of them. Then he tried to run me off the road on Yonkers Avenue. So he's got time for that. So you guys need to vote him out. I know there's complaining going on. I know that, Hattie Adams has received complaints. CSEA in White Plains have been receiving complaints. Albany has been receiving complaints. I called the office. Who was there? Maribel. Hola, how you doing? It's me, Freddie. She knows me. Maribel knows me. She knows me for a long time, before Basement Politics. She knows me as a little kid. Maribel's like my aunt. And she didn't tell me to say this. This is what people are saying, all right? If Maribel was crappy, I would tell you, even though she's like my aunt. I would still say, Maribel, you got to step your game up. Like, people are complaining about you, right? I know you're like my aunt, but you know what I'm saying? But no, I hear great things about Maribel, and she needs to be the president, right? I mean, if she's doing the job, then might as well make it official, because this guy's a bum. He spends all his day at Yonkers Middle High School or Saunders, jerking off, talking a lot of trash and not getting a contract done because he has no bolas. He's not a real leader. Okay. He's not a real leader. The only thing he did was, you guys remember the helicopter video that when he won and he came off the helicopter saying the president, I mean, it really went to his head. He was screaming, the president is here. The president is here. And he's been smoking a lot of cigars. I don't know who this guy think he is, right? Get your contracts. Get your members a contract. Impress us. That's impressive. If you get a contract and a good one, that's impressive, Alberto. I'm sure people would be impressed then. So no contract. I also got a message in regards to the public library and the custodians not having a contract. I don't know what union that is. Anybody know? Maybe somebody can tell me. But as a result of them not having a contract, they're refusing to work on Sundays. So I'm hearing the library's closed on Sundays. I didn't know if it was open or not on Sundays. I don't know if this is a joke, but if it is, I'm a blast you to the person because you know who you are. But if it's not, I want to put it out there, right? So I don't know. I'm hearing that the library, the custodians also don't have a contract, so they're sticking together. They're refusing to work on Sundays. And so now the library is going to be closed on Sundays as a result of that. And so, there was this screenshot I got of a memo, it appears, where, someone was thanking the people for sticking together on this. And that's what the CSEA members have to do also, stick together, file complaints, make complaints, just like Alberto Velasquez did. Remember, I played you the videos. He filed complaints on the principal at Enrico Fermi, because I put him on paper. And so he retaliated against me and he put me over here. And then I told him about my office and they still haven't called me in the mall and the sexual things that they were doing. He put me on the paper, right? Because I put him on the paper, right? You remember that video? That's Alberto Velasquez, right? That's him. And so he's filing complaints about people. He has no problems doing that. He has no problems reporting people to the state. So report his ass. He's in Puerto Rico. Who's giving him all this damn money? Where's he getting all that money? Wasn't that sweet old lady that's no longer here, the one that was deceased? Because I heard some funny business there, buddy. Did you really do that? I couldn't do that, man. You really take that lady's money? Was that a setup? Did they investigate your ass? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Let's talk about this guy. What's his name? I forgot. County Executive George Latimer is trying to make people feel good about the migrants here in Westchester. I don't know, what do you guys think? He's saying that there's no crimes being committed by the migrants. That's just all nonsense. But actually, that was on the Times. Yeah, here. Check out this beautiful picture. That's George Latimer, the county executive. He says no crime in Westchester from migrants. NYC is paying the cost. Migrants here legally. That's not true, though. Is it? People have the right to express their view, but not to drive across your point of view to make people have a sense of fear. We are trying to address the reality of things that are actually happening on the ground. Westchester County legislator George Latimer, and I was being blamed for Latimer's response to the migrants. They were saying that I'm the one that's saying that they're committing crimes, that they're spreading diseases. I never said any of that. But if he is responding because they said I said this, then, shit, I'm flattered. But I don't know, should I be? But I did say that there was a concern from several individuals about a tuberculosis outbreak at the Tuckahoe at the ShopRite on Tuckahoe. I've been getting several complaints because people complain to me. They tell me, they want me to put, hey, Freddie, can you help us out here? And of loitering, people also have been putting complaints up on Nextdoor app. I'm reading what people are posting about individuals in the parking lot at the ShopRite, coming up to people as they're going to their cars. People are concerned, right? So, have you addressed this? Have you said, okay, let me look into what's going on? Or are you just giving it, saying, hey, don't worry, there's no crime and there's no tuberculosis and the city's paying, so we're not using any Westchester County funds. Okay. Where's the city getting the money from? The state. Where's the state getting the money from? On August 28, County Executive George Latimer held a press conference to update residents on the 400 migrants currently living at 3 Westchester locations, Ardsley, White Plains, and Yonkers, in motels, hotels, and to point to the facts that no crimes have been committed at either location, that the cost of the migrants are being entirely paid by New York City and not the taxpayers of Westchester, and that the migrants are here legally awaiting decision on their asylum application. But if they're here waiting on decision, what if they disappear and they don't need to wait on a decision? Screw the decision. I'm out of here. I'm going somewhere in the country. Right? Latimer said that the majority of the 400 migrants in Westchester are adults, but 125 are under the age of 18. And those individuals are eligible to attend school in each of the 3 communities they currently reside. So that's Yonkers, is one of them, right? So, and look, I want to help the kids. Let's take these kids in. I mean, they need it. Obviously, they're not going to go back anytime soon. They're here. Rather than screw up their education, the kids didn't do any of this. They're the most innocent of all. And so we need to make sure that at least while they're here, that we are providing them with something. It's just humane to do that. And, in education, housing and shelter, food for the children. So if they do go back because they make a decision that they're not going to give them asylum, at least they have been getting an education, right? So let's, I agree with that. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to have more overcrowding in the schools. And now you're going to have a segment of the population that's not going to speak English. And so you're going to have to, the school district is going to have to adapt to that, right? And so pull resources away from somewhere where they're already lacking in order to address this, which I'm saying, let's do it. But again, we are already, very thin on our resources. And how are we going to do this if we have to enroll them in school, in which I believe they will be based on his statements here. So to attend each of schools, whatever, the currently reside, New York Attorney General Letitia James and Education Commissioner Betty Rosa issued a statement affirming that every student between the ages of 5 and 21 has the right to a free public education in New York, regardless of the student's nationality or immigration status. The law is very clear. Every New Yorker is entitled to a free public education, and anyone who lives in our state is a New Yorker, said Attorney General James. They're not entitled to it. They are obligated to go, right? Because if you don't send your kids to school, you're going to get a CPS case. So it's not entitled, it's an obligation. Every child is obligated to attend the free public schools that are provided. That's what they should have said. Latimer added that West Hab is contracted with New York City, West Hab, to assist migrants at the Ramada Inn. But how are they assisting them at the Ramada Inn? What is West Hab doing? On Tuckahoe Road in Yonkers, and that Doc Go has been contracted by New York City to assist migrants in Ardsley, Acres Hotel, and White Plains. Several complaints have been made about the food service to migrants by Doc Go. Who's Doc Go? Who owns Doc Go? Look that up for me, guys. Send me an email. I will appreciate it. Who owns Doc Go company, a food service company? Latimer underscored 3 points in his video press conference. 1, there have been no crimes committed at any of the locations. 2, there have been no issues of outbreaks of communicable disease. Each of the migrants have been examined for vaccination status. Really? Because Eric Adams, and they're saying that, they're going to waive the vaccination status of the migrant children. They're not going to have them to attend school. But they're saying that they've examined them for vaccination. How do you examine them for vaccination status? Explain that. You just look at them and say, they were vaccinated. I can tell. They had this look of vaccination. Maybe if they have autistic children, that could be a sign. The cost for the migrants, the room and food are contracted with New York City and with these 3 motels. It is a legal transaction. Westchester County has had no direct cost for the migrants. Some costs in the Westchester County Department of Health and the county police have been absorbed. There are no additional costs, although Westchester County government does have a direct responsibility for the homeless population. So why didn't, hey, George Latimer, answer me this. Why didn't you take all the homeless people in Yonkers and put them in the Ramada? Why didn't you take them off the streets of, when they closed down the sharing community? Why didn't they take them to the Ramada? Why did they just leave them abandoned in the street in Getty Square? You see what I'm saying? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Cool, you got the migrants a hotel situation. But why didn't you do this to the homeless people? When the sharing community closed and they had nowhere to go. And the homeless people that are still out there now, why aren't they getting individual rooms in hotels with pools and food service? Right? Like that doesn't make sense to me. I'm just like thinking about like, wait a minute, like, damn, why did they just do this with the homeless people to begin with? That way they wouldn't be, all throughout Getty Square, the downtown area, the businesses wouldn't suffer. The place wouldn't look like Night of the Living Dead. But they still got the Night of the Living Dead on Getty Square, and they got folks from everywhere but America in hotels. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. We got black homeless people, white homeless people, Hispanic homeless people, Americans. They're not giving them a Ramada hotel room, Ardsley Acre hotel room. On top of that, how many of y'all now can't go to the telly because of this? I know a lot of y'all out there mad can't go to the telly on the late night. Or is that a different telly? The Apple 8. What is Apple Motel? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Latimer also reiterated a point that has also been made by Westchester Congressman Jamal Bowman, that the migrants are now here legally. Now here legally. They weren't before, but they then made it legal. We just changed the laws. Those individuals who cross the border into the U.S. go to immigration officials and ask for asylum. Once they file, they are awaiting adjudication. They are here legally. They are not illegals. But the way the process was before is that they would not wait in America usually. They wouldn't give them hotel rooms, food service, and everything else, and allow them to just acclimate into the country. They would first have to wait for their hearing. And so this goes to the people who were saying, oh, Donald Trump is putting kids in cages. First of all, that wasn't Donald Trump. That was being done during the Obama administration. And what that actually is, just to educate some of you folks, if you don't know, was detention centers for individuals who decided that they wanted to seek asylum. They were given a choice. You can go back, or if you want to seek asylum, you can wait in this detention center if you want. But the detention center was for adults only. So when people came with children, they had to put the children somewhere else because they didn't want to leave them with all adults. That's why you saw children separated. And it was the parent who decided to go through the process, understanding that the process will require that they be separated from their child. But unlike Obama, Trump never, under his administration, had one of those children that were there while their parent waited for asylum get adopted by an American parent without the parent's consent. In 2014, that's exactly what happened. One of those children that were separated in those cages, as people say, was adopted by an American family without the mother knowing about it. And the mother is probably still fighting. 5 years she's been fighting to get her daughter back because she never put her up for adoption. But she got adopted anyway, and I've shared the story a while back. And that happened under the Obama administration. So to the folks who used to say, oh, the Trump putting kids in cages, that was not the case. Like, understand, it just bothers me when people say things and they have no clue what they're talking about. Zero clue what they're talking about. Right? They just regurgitate what they hear like a parrot on CNN or whatever. Right? So it doesn't make sense why now we're spending any taxpayer money, whether it's New York City taxpayer money, whether it's Westchester taxpayer money, the state taxpayers, any taxpayers paying to put people in hotels. Folks, do you know how much it is to stay in a hotel? $250 a night, at least. $250 a night. I would put my clients up whose houses caught fire in a hotel. The insurance company would reimburse me, but the insurance company wanted them to get out of that hotel as quick as possible and into a rental because renting a house was cheaper than having them stay in a hotel. So that's expensive. So why are we now changing the way they do things? Now we bring them into the country, spread them throughout the country, pay for hotels, pay for food services, and leave the American, black, white, and Hispanic homeless on the streets. Children I've seen on the streets. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. That should be crazy to every American of all colors, because it's not about race. That's a straw man argument used to have us divided over this issue. Look at how New York City looks and many other cities across the country. I mean, is that okay with some of you folks? And those of you folks, George, will you take some home with you? Maybe with that, you guys got a bunch of real estate. Why don't you take some of the migrants and house them? House them for free. They just might, because Eric Adams is proposing a plan where if you house a migrant, you get $100 a day per migrant. $100 a day per migrant. SRO, single room occupancy, void your insurance policy, folks, for $100 a day. Save that money in case your house catches fire. And then when your insurance company sees you're housing migrants in there, your policy is void. I'm just letting you know. Unbelievable. But they want to make illegal apartments legal. They've talked about this here in Yonkers. Latimer has also challenged the decisions by other neighboring county governments to issue executive orders banning migrants from their county. Some of my colleagues issued executive orders and many of you applauded it. What do you think about that? What do you think about banning? They have no effect. In Dutchess and Orange counties, they had migrant placements anyway, and the courts have ruled against them. However, in Putnam County, County Executive Kevin Barn explained that on July 26th, the lawsuit from the city of New York against Putnam County was dismissed in its entirety after our emergency action expired and was formally rescinded. All of Putnam County's actions, including the passage of a local law pertaining to outside municipalities and homeless shelters, which also took effect on July 26th, are constitutional and consistent with Putnam County's authority granted to it by municipal home rule law, allowing it to adopt and amend local laws related to government protection, order, conduct, safety, health, and well-being of persons or property therein. And basically what he's saying there, Putnam County, they were successful. They amended their charter like our charter was amended, right, recently. They amended their charter to ban the housing of homeless migrants by New York City in their county. Listen, New York City, you have plenty of properties now. Everybody's moving out there and coming to Westchester anyway. You should house every migrant. House them, every migrant. How many homeless people do you see in New York City all the time? I've walked by people literally sleeping. I've seen couples sleeping on the floor, hugged up next to each other on a cardboard box. Well, I used to work in the financial district on Wall Street. And it was crazy to see the difference. You got guys walking there, multi-millionaires driving Bentleys through there, people sleeping on the floor. Panhandling all the time. It was crazy. I don't know. I noticed that. It bothers me. I wish I could. I was telling my wife, why does it bother me? Why can't it be like everybody, just keep it moving? Tunnel vision. But it bothers me to see that. It's like, why? And it bothers me to see that they would prioritize people who just got here. I mean, listen, the children, we need to house them. Can't leave children on the street. But the men, they can't be prioritized over our homeless vets. Sure, maybe they weren't kicked out of hotels like they were reported, although that's debatable. But the fact that they remain on the streets and not given hotel rooms and food service like non-Americans is horrible. Imagine fighting for your country, losing your mind at the very least if you don't lose a limb, seeing all the crazy death and destruction in these pointless wars, and coming home only to be left homeless. And no one cares, and they give you very little. Then you watch non-Americans come and get hotel, get food service and everything else. It's just very discouraging. Why would you want to go into the military? Whose freedom are you fighting for? Who's ever threatened our freedom recently? Does anyone know? Anyone that legitimately has threatened the freedom of Americans in recent times, that called for an all-out war, that called for the destruction and killing of women and children with drones? Unbelievable. Well, that's George Latimer. He's going to support this, of course. He's a Democrat. But I don't think every Democrat is supporting this. And I don't think it's just a Republican thing. They're trying to try to make it about Trump. Oh, the people that don't support this are the Trump MAGA hats. Come on, George. That's a cheap shot. That excuse is getting old. This is where you Democrats are failing. You're not realizing that a lot of Democrats are getting tired of you guys. A lot of Democrats, including this Democrat here. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't know what your plan is. But from what I see and many others, it seems like you have a goal to destroy our cities. I'm not sure if that's the plan, but that's what it looks like all across the country here. Just watch something other than CNN. Start watching more independent news people. The guys that they say are not journalists, the ones that are actually bringing you the news, the truth news, the truthful news, right? The honest news, not hiding anything. Those that are not getting paid to do it, but are doing it simply to inform people because we are not being informed properly or at all. I'm Freddie Vasquez with Basement Politics Unfiltered. CSEA members, we're going to keep fighting for that contract. You know, it's an election year. This is what happens. But remember, like I said, 1,500 members, that makes you very powerful, especially during petition season. You guys can make a big impact on council races, especially. But you also have an impact in the elections. So make sure that you guys remember this. Alberto Velasquez, but it's not totally his fault because he can't do nothing anyway. He can't do nothing. Even if he wanted to, which I don't think he cares. He's very indifferent. He's at a point now where he's living the good life. It is what it is. So think about who you vote for next time and make sure that you hold them accountable.
Freddie wins.
Any of the haters out there will make stupid comments. At this point, anyone that makes a nonsense comment, like calling me a D-head or any other stupid, childish thing, you're just a hater. You're either two things. You're either part of the problem or you're stupid. I'm sorry. And maybe this is why people are turned off by me, but I just be honest with it. You're either part of the problem or you're stupid. Pick one.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Just keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. But you have to make a comment. You have to take the time to share and make a comment. Think about why you do it.
Freddie wins.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Happy Labor Day. I can't wait for this fall. We're having an open house. If you're looking for after-school programming, UPK, we're going to do this different. It's going to be incredible, but we're going to grow to that. It's going to take a little time, but I'm pushing to get there sooner than later. So we're going to be offering a lot of things for our youth. This is what I call the center that the youth have been waiting for and need here in the city of Yonkers. We are going to offer a lot of different activities, but we're also going to apply the academics. And we're going to be open to people from as young as 6 months old through our child care services up until 19 years of age. We have the space to do these different age groups and separate them out. And of course, they'll be in there at different points of the day. We're also looking to be open on weekends. We want to really reach out to as many children here in the city of Yonkers as possible, as many families to become part of our family. So together we can work on helping as many kids reach success as possible. Let's build the village that it takes to raise our children. Remember, it takes a village. So I'm looking to build that village, but I need you, the parents, the people of the city of Yonkers who are looking for positive things, who are looking to be a part of that village, who have children and who, may have some concerns that there's not a lot for them to do and are, scared that they may get into the wrong things. But we're going to be offering positive things, right? From sports to dance, art, music, theater, computer programming, coding. So there's going to be a lot of different things, something for everyone. I'm going to bring in people that have expertise. So I'm not going to be the one that's teaching people. I'm not the guy that's the head teacher. Okay. I'm not, so these people say, oh, Freddie's in the, but I will be part of, especially of the team program, though. I will be very involved with that, especially with the boys groups. We're going to be doing workshops with this age group, 14 to 19. That's the teen group. And everything from financial literacy to, opening up a savings account, a checking account, to entrepreneurship. We're going to be working to get them internships, apprenticeships, exposing them to different careers, different colleges. We're going to be doing a lot of different things. So for us, it's about the results. So I'm not, my goal is not so much making money, right? And people say, oh, you're making money. The truth of the matter is that, the contract that we do get with the city of Yonkers is not the bulk of the money that we make. The bulk of the money we make is from our after school program, which is, kids who come to us because they like the program. People hear about it from somebody else and they enroll their children, and either they pay out of pocket or they get subsidies from the state, not even the city of Yonkers, which is beyond the city of Yonkers control. So just to those who make some of these negative comments, right? Or may make comments like, oh, now you this is to whatever, make money. It's not. It's to do, produce results. Like I'm really, invested in seeing kids break the cycle of poverty. But we're open for all kids, right? It doesn't matter your economic status. We want all kids. We want to be as diverse as possible. And so we just want a place for kids to want to be at, a place where, they want to go every day. We got to go to the center, right? Because this is what we call it. It's the center. It's the youth center of Yonkers, the center. Right. And it's going to be something for everyone, boys and girls and parents as well. And we're only going to be expanding, and our dream is to one day have a camp upstate. So, we've actually even went to go look at some properties. We looked at even old former camps that they were already set up with the cabins and stuff. Right. So eventually down the line, that's our goal, to open, buy property upstate, like 2 hours or so away, and do a summer camp where we can take the kids out of Yonkers and even go with the parents. We'll bring the parents up there. We'll have cabins and we'll do just a lot of fun things up there, but also things that would involve therapy, therapeutic things, ropes courses where, people learn to trust each other, all those different type of stuff. It's really going to be about bonding and building the individuals up, and we all learn. I learn myself as the kids learn. So it's going to be a great thing. So I'm just, hoping and looking for as many people to participate and be a part of this. If you're looking for after school, if you're going to be putting your child in an after school program, or UPK or childcare, or you have a teenager that you want them involved in something, this is the program, Little Prodigies, because what you would normally pay for your childcare, or after school, you're going to get so much more for that same price, right? You're going to get a lot of choices for your child to get them involved in an activity that they truly love, and we're going to help develop them in that activity, right? So, these are going to be activities that they can grow and maybe do something one day, right? Maybe we'll see a professional athlete, or maybe we'll see a student that came through our program that, programmed the next coolest app or social media platform, or whatever, right? Or we'll see kids that become the next great dancer or actor, or whatever it is that we're offering, right? The goal is to help them really grow in that and take it as far as they can take it, right? And if that's all the way, then we want to be right there with them every step of the way. I'm Freddie Vasquez, Basement Politics Unfiltered. Look out for that. Check us out, Little Prodigies. Email me at littleprodigycenter@gmail.com. Hope to see you. Open house, it'll be September 5th at 5 p.m. And email for more details on that. All right. We got a lot of haters still out there. Have a beautiful week.